Bees Spotlight.
The Pacific Blue Eye Rainbowfish is a peaceful, active and relatively hardy addition to any nano-planted or smaller species community aquarium. The males exhibit beautiful coloration and finnage, which is more pronounced during frequent and exciting sparring bouts that occur throughout the day. Ideal tank mates for Pacific Blue Eye Rainbowfish could include other Pseudomugil rainbowfish, such as the honey blue eye, red neon blue eye, and spotted blue eye rainbowfish. However, it should be noted Pseudomugil species can hybridise, so if you aim to breed this fish and maintain its purity, other smaller rainbowfish such as the Celebes rainbowfish, ornate rainbowfish, or dwarf neon rainbowfish will make more suitable tank mates. Other possible tank mates can include other peaceful species of similar size, disposition and water requirements such as peacock gobies and Neocaridina shrimp, which can also make good tank mates. However, it is worth bearing in mind small shrimplets may fall prey to these fish. Pacific Blue Eye Rainbowfish are a shoaling species, therefore it would be better to keep them in a group of at least 8 to 10 individuals, preferably more. Maintaining these fish in such numbers will not only make them less nervous, but will also result in a far more natural looking display. Males will also display some fascinating behaviour and show off their best colours as they compete for female attention. The males usually have extended filaments on their dorsal, pelvic and anal fins. In addition, there are black markings on the base of the anterior rays of the anal and rear dorsal fins. The front is sometimes white and the back edge is greyish. The male's fins may turn orange during the breeding season. Pacific Blue Eye Rainbowfish have been collected in Sydney, New South Wales state and eastern Australia. Their range stretches along most of the country's eastern coastline, from Merribula Lake in southern South Wales, close to the border with Victoria State, to Embley River in far north Queensland in Australia. These rainbowfish are generally found close to the sea. However, their habitats are incredibly variable and this species has been recorded in fully marine conditions and pure freshwater environments. Pacific Blue Eye Rainbowfish usually inhabit swamps, coastal mangrove creeks and salt marshes. Freshwater habitats typically include lowland swamps or forest streams with clear water, although some inhabit acidic tannin-stained black waters. These fish are also abundant in the artificial canals typical of residential zones in the Gold Coast in southern Queensland. Pacific Blue Eye Rainbowfish feed primarily on suspended or floating phytoplankton, zooplankton and invertebrates in nature. Therefore, in the aquarium you should endeavour to offer them food of a suitable size. Ideally, much of this species' diet should include live and frozen foods such as brine shrimp, bloodworm, microworm and daphnia. However, they are an unfussy eater and readily accept small dried foods such as crushed flake and micropellets. It is quite easy to differentiate between male and female Pacific Blue Eye Rainbowfish. Mature males are more brightly coloured and display longer finnage than females. The males are also a little larger and possess black markings on their anal and dorsal fins. Pacific Blue Eye Rainbowfish are egg layers that present no parental care and will often consume their eggs and fry if given an opportunity. However, in a well-decorated aquarium, some may survive. Spawning is more likely to occur in slightly higher temperatures. Females deposit a few eggs daily for several days, attaching them to aquatic vegetation or other substrates by sticky threads. Individual males will also mate with multiple females during a single day, and spawning usually continues throughout daytime hours during warmer weather. In nature, these rainbowfish display a seasonal reproductive cycle corresponding with the onset of the wet season around October to December, when aquatic vegetation and food are at their most abundant. Spawning usually occurs during daylight hours with a burst of activity late morning to early afternoon. Breeding can occur throughout the year in the aquarium if the temperature is kept at the same values. You can use 2 methods to spawn these fish. The first involves isolating a small group of 6 to 8 individuals or a single male and 2 or 3 females into a separate breeding tank with an air-powered sponge filter and a spawning medium such as nylon mops or aquatic moss. You will need to check this daily, and if you find any eggs, you will need to move them into a separate rearing tank for incubation and hatching. Another method you may use is maintaining a colony of adults in a more extensive, fully decorated setup that should allow some fry to survive if well planted. However, the fry initially spends most of its time close to the water's surface. Therefore, it is advised that you attach aquatic mosses to decor high up in the aquarium or use floating plants with long roots, as this will produce the most favourable results. The second approach is usually less productive but more straightforward and reliable, as established and planted aquariums facilitate relatively stable water conditions. In addition, the resident microfauna can create a valuable early food source for the fish fry. The incubation period for these rainbowfish is usually between 10 and 21 days, depending on temperature, and the fry can accept baby brine shrimp, microworm, and similarly sized foods immediately. It would be best if you offered your fry small meals at least twice a day. It would be beneficial to remember that aged water can result in high mortality, so performing regular small water changes are essential. Any uneaten food needs to be removed and should not be allowed to accumulate in the rearing tank.